In the glitz and glamour of South Korean entertainment, no name is more global than BTS. The talented seven-member boy group has created a Hallyu wave that has rocked the world, bringing K-pop music to the global stage with almost unmatched achievements. However, behind the spotlight and the cheers of millions of fans, an issue has now emerged that has shaken the foundations of fandom. Will Kim Taehyung, better known as V, really leave BTS? Yes, that big question is now hanging in the air, breaking the silence with rumors that are increasingly difficult to ignore. The relationship between Taehyung and the agency that houses BTS, HYBE labels, is reportedly at a hot spot. Issues of tension, differences in vision, and even dissatisfaction with several internal decisions by HYBE have begun to be revealed through various subtle clues, and not infrequently, through Taehyung's own silence. The public was shocked after several mysterious posts on Taehyung's personal account seemed to indicate his inner turmoil. Short sentences with ambiguous meanings, facial expressions that are no longer as cheerful as before in several public appearances, to his decision to appear more independent in exploring the world of art and acting, have begun to trigger wild speculation. Are these early signs of a breakup? Korean media began to smell the scent of this disharmony since the middle of last year, but the rumor only really exploded when an internal source, who chose to remain anonymous, leaked that Taehyung had an argument in a closed meeting with HYBE's top brass. The trigger? Reportedly related to the creative limitations that the BTS member began to feel, especially in individual projects that felt too controlled by the company. What made this situation even more dramatic was the silence from both parties. HYBE did not provide an official clarification, while Taehyung chose to remain calm and focus on his solo activities, such as promoting a solo album, independent photo shoots, and even a serious approach to the world of acting. In his last interview with a famous fashion magazine, Taehyung only smiled faintly when asked about his future with BTS. "I'm in the process of getting to know myself better," he said, a sentence that is open to a million interpretations. Fans are divided. Some choose to believe that this is just a phase, a time of exploration for a growing artist. But there are also many who feel that this is the beginning of a slow but sure separation. The hashtags "Stay with BTS" and "Protect Taehyung" have topped the trending lists on various social media platforms, showing how strong the support and concerns of armies around the world are. On the other hand, entertainment industry analysts believe that this could be a turning point for BTS and HYBE. If a split does occur, the domino effect could change the entire K-pop landscape. Taehyung is more than just a member of BTS. He is a cultural icon, the face of various luxury brands worldwide, and a symbol of emotion for millions of fans. His departure from BTS would be a major decision that would affect not only his career, but also the direction of the group as a whole. However, one thing is for sure. In the midst of this heated issue, the world is watching Taehyung. Will he truly open a new page as a full-fledged solo artist? Or is this just a temporary storm that will subside over time? This story is not over yet. And like most big stories, only time will tell. Whether Taehyung will continue to walk with BTS or choose to write his own story, separate from the big names that raised him. One thing is for sure, the spotlight will not be on him. When an icon as big as Taehyung begins to show signs of shifting direction, the world doesn't just watch, it waits, guesses, and even debates. His every move now seems to have a double meaning. His decision to wear a certain outfit, choose a certain song to sing, or even his decision not to perform at an event with the other BTS members, are all interpreted with speculation. Many are starting to remember Taehyung's journey since his debut. He is not just an idol, but an artist. Known for his unique artistic perspective, poetic black and white photography, experimental musical choices, and even an aesthetic taste that is often uncommon in the K-pop world. All of this shows that Taehyung does not just want to be part of the mainstream, he wants to create his own. And herein lies the real flashpoint. HYBE, as a major company that manages artists of BTS's caliber, certainly has its own agenda. Rigid structures, commercial demands, and corporate interests often act as a barrier to artists who want to pursue freedom of expression. Rumor has it that this is the root of the growing tension between Taehyung and management. not because of a desire to come out in the literal sense, but because of a desire to break free from the limitations that have so far constrained his freedom of movement. Some observers have even called this situation a second G-Dragon phase, referring to how the legendary leader of Big Bang also went through a phase of clashing between artistic ideals and industry demands. Taehyung is said to be at that point, a point where a K-pop star transforms into a full-fledged artist. But behind all this anxiety, one thing that touches the hearts of millions of fans is their loyalty. ARMY, as usual, is the last bastion. They don't just support Taehyung with sweet words or viral hashtags, they try to understand. Many of them realize that an artist has the right to choose their own path. Whether with a group or alone, their love remains the same. Of course, it is still too early to conclude that Taehyung will really leave BTS. Until now, there has been no official statement. But HYBE's silence and Taehyung's passive attitude only add fuel to the fire. Many hope that if there is indeed an internal conflict, it can be resolved without having to sacrifice one of the pillars of this legendary group. What makes everything even more complicated is the fact that BTS is currently undergoing mandatory military service. With members spread across different military units, communication and joint activities are very limited. This allows room for speculation to grow wilder. Not a few have said that this hiatus could be a time of reflection for each member, and could also be a time for big decisions to be made. Will BTS appear again in full formation after returning from military service? Or will we see a shift in direction, perhaps a new formation, or even the end of the golden era they have created together? One thing cannot be denied. The world is witnessing a historic moment. Taehyung, with all his charm and complexity, is now at a crossroads. Will he remain as BTS's V, or will he fully transform into the independent artist Kim Taehyung? The storm is far from over, and the world, especially ARMY, is still waiting for the next chapter. But storms don't always bring destruction. Sometimes they pave the way for clearer skies. That's what fans are waiting for: clarity, certainty. Is this just a temporary haze, or is it really the beginning of a major shift in BTS's history? What makes this situation even more complex is the fact that Taehyung isn't the only BTS member who is starting to expand his career scope individually. Jungkook has released solo albums and achieved global success. Jimin and RM have explored their musical sides and personal philosophies, while Suga has even dared to appear as an independent producer and arranger for a long time. But why, when Taehyung steps out on his own, does the tension feel different? The answer may lie in Taehyung's strong yet mysterious personality. He's not an idol who's easy to predict. He is not someone who will speak openly about conflict, but will express it through art, through visual poetry, or through silent gestures that only those who really pay attention to him understand. This is why the rumors surrounding Taehyung feel more burdensome, more suffocating, because he chooses to remain silent. And when a public figure like Taehyung chooses to remain silent, the media chooses to talk more. This is where the conflict explodes even wilder. Several news outlets have begun to dare to publish sharp opinions. Is HYBE too restrictive of their artists? Zarania. Is BTS still relevant as a group after their military service? Zarania. And some even provocatively wrote, BTS without Taehyung, is it still the same? Of course, these questions have no answers yet. But the public has begun to prepare their hearts for all possibilities. There are even those who believe that if Taehyung really leaves, then this step will be a bold declaration of creative freedom in the midst of Korea's very structural and rigid entertainment system.
Catch me if I fall.